Okay, folks, it is Thursday night, January the 9th, 2025. This is the meeting of the committee meetings of the Meyersdale Borough Council. First, we'll start with the police, then the personnel, and then the finance committee. So the mayor cannot be here this evening, so Ron, Mr. Chairman, take it away.
Well, I can't say that I have anything to say because I've never seen any of the policemen to talk to them. So.
They've been out all day.
No, today, yes, that's not what I'm talking about, I saw them today.
Well, I know Officer Mark Craig has started,
Yes.
and that's good news, and he's actually excited to work here for us. And so that's gonna give us some daytime coverage, and I'll just defer anymore until our regular meeting night on Tuesday, and we'll hear what the mayor has to say. So nothing else with the
No.
police, Ron?
No.
Personnel, Jenny?
Nothing really, we're still waiting to decide to meet with. Sure, what's your name?
Oh, Roland.
Yeah, Roland, I can never remember his name, about job descriptions, but that's the only thing I know, and nothing's really been concrete on that.
We had discussed at our regular meeting, Terry, finance chairperson, had made a discussion that we give our employees a holiday bonus, which we did, and I think there was some discussion about maybe we would, under the personnel committee, try to come up with some kind of a policy going forward. We don't have to do that tonight, but it's on the agenda, so whatever you decide you wanna do.
Okay,
I think we need to make some kind of formula
yeah.
for this bonus. Because really, it's not fair, like, some of our older people getting the same bonus as the kid that only worked, what, a month, your boy, or 2 months? You know, if that was me, I'd be like, yeah, how come he gets $200? Maybe we should do like
So many years.
Proration.
or so many weeks,
Mhm.
or hours per pay. A lot of places do that. They do that for vacations and what have you.
Well, I would put Patty and Brian and JR in the same category. JR is almost full-time, correct?
36 hours.
So I would say we go with those for our rate, and then maybe those who work less hours, more of a part-time position, then they're a different rate. And what it is, I don't care, but what does everybody think about that?
That sounds fair.
Some kind of form. Can't do too much because Patty's been here since the beginning of time and her bonus would be like $10,000.
Worth more than the building.
Thank you, Patty, huh?
Well, I was thinking like just a set amount, like if you're full-time, not necessarily the years for the holiday bonus, but just like say $300 and $150, or 400 and 200, just something like that. These are just figures I'm throwing out. I prefer if other council members speak up to come up with some numbers, but I don't think we need to get that involved that we give it on a yearly basis, or how many years they've been here.
No,
That's
no.
what, so I just say, let's come up with a discussion, of course, but two numbers. Maybe that's not fair, but whatever council feels, but just to kind of get us started on the discussion here is what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I know.
Such and such.
So are we gonna move forward with something tonight with numbers, or you wanna
Well,
punt and
I was just
discuss
gonna
it?
say, can we punt and discuss it, and that way between now and Tuesday, I'll check with different places around, see how they do it, and we can go from there, if that's okay?
Sounds good.
Patty, would you please put that on the agenda then, under the personnel committee, and then we can all think about how we wanna do it, come up with some suggestions and move forward. Anything else, Jenny, under the
That's all,
personnel
nothing
committee?
else under personnel.
Terry, it's you for the
All
finances.
right, the first item would be policy for the use of gym. possible restrictions.
Well, we had at our last meeting, rescinded the provision that individuals need to have insurance, unless it's a business type of adventure. So I think we've covered that. I thought we had given Patty guidance that we don't want you to necessarily cancel someone, like the group that's here tonight, for somebody who's willing to come in and pay for an event, like a birthday party. I thought we had left this kind of loose-ended, but to at least give you that guidance, that you don't necessarily boot someone that's not willing, like the group here tonight, a baseball team or little league or something, like for somebody that wants to, I guess first come, first serve would be the way to say it. So I thought that's what we had decided in December, but then we have the bounce houses and other things, and did we want to just restrict those completely, or I don't remember exactly what we had decided because of a greater liability. So,
I'm not sure, but I thought we said no bounce
Yeah, I
house.
think there's no bounce houses because the liability on those would be, more than we'd wanna deal with, I would think. And it's easier just to say no across the board than to say, oh yeah, but if you do this, if you do that, then Patty's, making her do more, so.
You're
that's
gonna,
my
you're
opinion.
gonna think about, this with the priorities, maybe just making Saturday and Sunday for party days from a certain time. If the kids wanted to, or the groups wanted to use, like for practices, we could practice on a Saturday or Sunday up to a certain time.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
we-
that,
we
yeah, they could
discussed
do a
that.
morning, and then,
Cause most party usually start at 2 o'clock.
yeah.
I think it was per event too, it wasn't just bounce houses, it was sword fighting and
Yeah.
knife throwing.
hatchet throwing,
Hatchet throwing.
axe throwing.
Axe throwing, that's it, axe
So you still want that on the agenda, or,
Patty, my thinking would be, I'll yield to you, if you're comfortable with, if you get into a situation or a concern, then bring it to council, and then we'll have to move forward from that, but I think we gave you the guidance as far as paying versus non-paying. What does everybody else think?
I agree.
So we'll just leave it off the agenda and, unless something else, comes up.
Alrighty, we're finished with that. Pet shelter during emergencies.
We had received a letter from Steve Spokart asking us if the borough would be available to come up with, if there would be a catastrophic emergency. A lot of communities have places that you can put your pets. So I was thinking, would we want to put our name in as this building, to let the people with pets come in here? Is there any interest in that? I know I'm a dog lover, some people love cats. So I think it would be something nice for us to do, possibly getting some more information as far as what would be our requirement and things like that, but I think it would be a perfect place here. Unless they would need the gym for, people to stay, but they have the schools, I think they participate in the fire hall and things like that. So it's just whatever council feels, but I know we had received a letter, I said, who did I say?
You said
Joel,
Steve
I'm wrong,
Spokart.
it's Joel Landis.
Yeah.
Joel Landis was the letter, not Steve, so just something to consider. We can punt it, or we can discuss it a little bit, whatever council members feel.
I don't think you'd want them on the gym floor at all. Maybe downstairs, like where the wreaths are stored or something like that. I think you'd have them in kennels and things, and the floors could get marred up, you're gonna have, I just don't know. Big animal lovers too, I think we need to learn more,
what they're expecting.
yes.
I mean, I would think they would have to be in some kind of a cage or containment. You just couldn't have dogs and cats running together here in the building, so. Maybe I'll try to reach out to, Joel sometime here before Tuesday and see what exactly they're
Or
requiring.
that's on the agenda then.
What does council wanna do?
I'd say leave her on. And
See if I can do
get in
that.
touch with him, then with more information than we know. But I'm like Karen, I don't think you want him trooping around on a brand new gym floor. And I'm an animal lover, so.
Me too.
All right, prison labor to paint daycare space.
I contacted Nick, I did not hear back from him as of yet, so I'm just waiting for a phone call. I think Tom's got the paint already for it.
Yep.
So I'm waiting for Nick to call me back to see when they can come over. That's what I'm waiting on.
Like, how big of an area is it that needs painted? I know she delayed getting her business off the ground for January. I think she needs a start date. And, I mean, is that something on a non-snowy day that we could take on?
I don't know where I'm to paint it. I wasn't here, I was on vacation when she was down there looking, so I don't have a clue what she wants and what she doesn't.
I think we were just talking like the whole room, the whole area. I mean,
About the same size
It's
as
probably
this.
about as big as this,
Yeah.
except it's
It's no big deal.
boarded off a little bit.
Could you please, Brian, cause you're the liaison, call, what's his name? Nick,
Go back.
and ask if there'd be any way that they could come over here and we could have it painted. Possibly by the 1st of February, just because we're gonna rent the space and, they'd like to have it, and see if that's any, and maybe report Tuesday night.
Yeah, I could even try to get back with him again tomorrow and see
Yeah.
if he'll return my call.
And then, do we have the paint?
Yeah, Tom got it.
So all we have to do is see if, and explain if there's any way at all, cause they love to come over here and work.
Yeah, and he's usually pretty good about coming over right away if there's, and he said this kind of weather, they normally don't have a whole lot going on.
Yeah, that'd be-
so-
so, if you would do that, if council's okay with that, then maybe just send Patty or I an email or a text tomorrow, and we'll let everybody know, or else give a report.
Yeah, and I'll call him right away in the morning, either let him a message or text him,
Okay.
have him get back to me.
All right, revisit rent for Donna Wilhelm.
I guess after our meeting, this is just to discuss. My thinking would be, I wonder, we had given her a fee of $300, which you could say is reasonable. I was wondering if we would revisit that and maybe take $100 off, just for the first year. She's a new business starting in here, and to see if it's gonna work out. I mean, I'm kind of a soft heart, I guess, I know when I started out, a lot of people helped me get started, way back in the 70s. So we can leave it at 300 if there's no, we couldn't do anything tonight, but it's just something to discuss, and maybe each council member could give their opinion, and either way, I'm fine, but I just thought maybe 200. And then she would realize that it could go up. If she's still interested next year, then we'd maybe raise it to something, 250 or 300 like the motion was, but somebody say something.
At least let it get started.
Yeah,
I don't
and
think
she's
it's fair to the-
donated.
I don't think it's fair to the private people that are out there, that are renting, landlords. Why should somebody have a cheaper rent just because it's the borough?
What did daycare pay?
$450,
Okay.
and the municipal authority paid $600.
so she's down there, but she doesn't have to pay water, she doesn't have to pay sewage, she doesn't have to pay electric, none of that, right? Yes,
It's
no.
all,
Yeah, it's all.
It would be just, right, correct.
Do we have the space empty upstairs now?
We'll discuss.
kinda like Tom, cause I'm thinking that, you know, other people in town are running businesses, you know, or businesses running facilities that,
I mean, I think that's fair. It's a pretty good bargain.
And I'm fine either way, I just felt I wanted to bring it up and,
That's a good point. We haven't advertised that we have any space available, so that's true.
Clarence, what do you think?
What do we say, 300?
Yeah,
I mean, I really don't ever talk to you, and just can't. Just getting us for nothing more or less.
Karen, what do you think?
I would say back and forth, 200 or 300. When everybody else looks at it.
my thought, like I said, is with the electric and the, everything included, that's good, right?
very
Yeah.
good.
What are you saying, the 300?
Yeah. the
Do you,
300.
Karen or Terry, wanna retort to
Solid point.
something, and we can leave it at 300, I just, go ahead.
I'm okay with 300, but really, if we get 200, that's 200 we're getting out. I mean, it's sitting down there not being used. We want people to get involved with this building, so, I mean, I'd be in favor of 200, but I'm okay with the 3. I mean, it's either Mr. Family, it's 0.
That would give you a little leeway to raise it next year, if you went to 200.
I don't have an opinion. I don't. It's reasonable either way.
It is, seriously.
Well, Terry, you're the chairman, make a decision here, that if we wanna bring it up, what I'm saying is, do we wanna revisit it or just leave it as it is?
Well, I mean, if we wanna change it, split the difference of 250. But I mean, it's up to the council. Majority rules.
I think we should put it on the agenda and vote on it Tuesday night,
Okay,
make our final
Have some
decision.
more time.
that gives everybody, that's a good
Take it
suggestion.
Okay, minor accident on the 24th.
Okay, I sent everybody out an email, which I apologize, I should have done it right after it happened, but during the holidays, I was off the day it happened, didn't come back till the day after Christmas. JR just had a little fender bender with somebody, that owner only had liability insurance, so our insurance company would pay to have his damages fixed. But now, if he'd have had full coverage, all we'd have been responsible for would have been the deductible. But it's all taken care of, I talked to the insurance company, she confirmed that everything's gonna be taken care of and there's no worries about it. And the guy's satisfied with what we're doing and nobody was hurt, that's the major thing.
All right,
Except JR's feelings.
Oh, yeah, when you have an accident.
So do we leave that on the agenda or take it off?
I take it off, I don't see any
Yeah,
purpose
it's
in having it on.
It's Kevin's case.
Okay, maintenance.
I had a couple things. We talked a year ago about the deck out back before the festival, that it needs fixed. Mark said it's a liability. What is the plan?
On the ramp
Yeah.
And I do know, I think there is blocks underneath supporting it, I mean, it is in rough shape.
That and even the ramp isn't wide enough. I mean, if you have a big wheelchair, you're not gonna make it.
So I think we'll put that up and sign the codes to begin with.
Well, I could call Blake tomorrow, or try to get in touch with him before our meeting, and ask if the Lions would be willing to help us out and maybe fix that, and then report on that Tuesday night. You could leave that on the agendas, the ramp, be more specific, the ramp, and I'll see if I can get an answer. Of course, they may have to wait till they have a meeting and give us a decision, but, if they meet every Monday night, then maybe we could have an opinion till our meeting, so
Okay.
that's 2 calls.
And then at the entrance, the light it's very dark out front when we come in. And the entrance light on the right side when you're walking up is out. Is the light burn out, or does the fixture not work, or what is going on there?
Those are dusk to dawn.
But they're not on at night, so.
I don't know, I guess we'll have to check the bulbs, I don't know. I don't really pay attention to them,
They're not very bright either.
so.
They're not, so I thought if we could put in LED bulbs at least, and if the fixture's toast, I had a suggestion for replacing them pretty inexpensively if we need to go that route. But with all the activity at night, I think that should be addressed pretty soon, cause it's really dark at the entrance, in my opinion.
Have any LED bulbs, Jeff? Do you have any LED bulbs? Oh, we can go up to Clyde or Salisbury Builders and get some, that's a good deal.
Maybe there's a master switch that's been turned off too.
No, I know the other light does work.
Yeah, the one on the
Okay.
lower
The
side
other
works.
side does work. So.
And if they're not dusk to dawn, you can get dusk to dawn, bulbs, and just put those in. And then, this isn't really maintenance, but I had sent Jeff and Mark a note about the bids on the windows. Can we talk about that at all? I know they're due back tomorrow. Did they do an addendum to the RFP to correct the mistakes?
Do you know what, were you here when I reported Mark's having some health issues? So he's not here, so we would have to ask him if that's been done.
Yeah.
I'd say,
We had calls from like Dark and some others that in one place in the RFP, Tom, I think you got a call too. You know, it says about, you know, the,
Casement windows or something.
well, it
Same as
says,
what we have in here.
near the end of the proposal, it says about putting vinyl replacement windows in, which is not what we want. And at the start of the proposal, apparently, it says, the full commercial, type windows. And so they don't know how to bid it. So I don't know how we're gonna have accurate bids when there's conflicting data. So I had emailed about that a week or 2 ago, and I don't know what was done.
did you send it to Mark?
Yeah, I sent it to you
Okay.
and Mark.
I remember seeing it, but
I didn't get anything from Mark, so he didn't tell me to do anything, 'cause it, I didn't know.
I'm just afraid we're gonna end up throwing out bids. But anyway,
So what do you got,
Yep.
Karen? Okay, upstairs, space vacated.
I received this from Art Darnell yesterday at 4:46 PM, asking him about their intentions. And he said, we actually have a ministers' meeting tomorrow night, which will be this evening, and this was going to be one of my topics of discussion. I will be sure to let you know what our plans and time frame. There are a few things we have to do to make room for the office panels, but I think we will start the disassembly process before that. If you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out. Thank you. So, I thought we had asked them that they were to be out by the first of the year.
we did.
So, how do we want to respond?
Well, he said you got a new minister, so let's see what they discussed tonight.
And I think if they don't have a legitimate plan, I mean, how much rent have they ever paid for that space?
None.
Okay, so I think we give them 30 days, or then they have to start paying rent for storage.
Yeah, I agree with Karen. In fact, I was thinking maybe give them till, because they were supposed to be out by the 1st of January. So I would say, of course, we can't make any decision tonight, as we all know, but you can put it on the agenda, and if we haven't heard back from them, I can text him tomorrow. Then we say like Karen said, but I'd make it February 1st. And we charge them, they were supposed to pay a rent when the school was in here, remember, I think it was $100 and some $155. You could check the actual amount, but, I agree, I think that
We wanna
We've
help
been-
anybody.
we've been over backwards for the apostolics in past years, but I think since they've indicated they don't want the space, then the least they could do is come in and, help us out. That way we can fix it up and maybe someone would wanna rent that space, that's my feeling, but, again, we can put that on the agenda, Patty, and we have this discussion at the regular meeting when we can actually vote and make decisions.
Can I add two things to the agenda for Tuesday night? I wanna talk about a shift between the county EMS and the planning commission and how that might provide an opportunity for the borough. And I would like to talk about grants.
Terry, if I could suggest we keep the finance committee open here. I apologize to Britta. I had asked, she has a question she'd like to ask us here. And did you have something you wanted to, we don't really have a public comment here, but this is, we can't make any decisions
No,
tonight. but
I
if you
just
have
wanted to
something-
listen in on the gym, what was it, the priority list. Cause I coach about everything under the sun, so I just wanted to,
Do you have a comment on what we've decided?
I am A-okay with not being kicked out for someone that's paying. I feel these kids have been, using it in horrible condition for years, and now that it's new, you shouldn't get kicked out just because it's new, so.
And this was just Patty asking for advice. I
No,
mean,
yeah,
If you watched the meeting in December.
Yeah.
I think no one, we discussed it, and I don't think anybody really
Yep.
was in favor of that, so you're good.
Yep, that's all. Just wanted to listen in.
There you have it, Britta.
Well, basically, I came to find out if those rooms were gonna be empty or not. About 10 years ago, I guess, the musical boosters, that's what I'm here from, high school musical boosters. The schools has never let us keep our costumes at the school. They say there's no room. So we've had them for years. It was, when we weren't involved, up on the top floor of the Citizens Bank when McClure's were involved. And then we had to move them out of there, and they were in Apex basement for a while. And then finally, Parks and Rec were kind enough to let us move our things upstairs. And for the beginning, we just had that narrow little closet, and we shared a room with Parks and Rec. Well, the narrow little room leaked. So then they left us share the room with where the records up here, records are kept. Well, then we had the middle room. Well, then the school came and they took the middle room. So now we have one room, which we really appreciate. But Patty will tell you can barely walk through it. We have costumes piled high and racks. And we just thought if any space was gonna be vacant, and nobody used, we would be interested in doing something like that.
Well,
We'll just wait and see what the.
yeah, the apostolics, and I have high regards for them,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
wonderful people. Correct. And we've been very generous to them, and it was their decision not to have the school here. Well then, like you said, there's other individuals, other groups that would like to use that space.
And if you can make money renting it out, that's fine. We just thought if it's gonna sit there.
Right. Well, we could see what council says, we could maybe put that on, would it be appropriate to put that on the agenda, about the musical boosters? Allowing them to store space where the apostolics are at this point. And that could be, we could move things around if we would get somebody that would wanna rent it.
Well, like I said, we shared it with the Parks and Rec for quite a while.
So we'll put that on the agenda. I don't think, Britta, unless you want to, you need to come back Tuesday night, but we can't, as a,
Tuesday or Thursday?
it's Tuesday night.
Oh, Tuesday.
Tuesday the 14th, this is just a committee meeting, and we discuss things, and then all decisions have to be made at a regular meeting, so
Okay.
we can put it on the agenda, but I don't hear any objection to allowing you, as soon as we get.
The plan is to move the records out of there over here, so you would have the whole room.
Okay, well, whatever.
Whenever Municipal moves out.
That's a good
I
point
think
too.
the plan is to keep the records that are up there, and then use the municipal authority room to start a new records room. Now, the municipal authority has a second, like a records area separate from mine, but whether they're gonna take theirs with or they're leaving them here, I don't know.
But for now, let's try to get you guys in there, and then that'll be an internal thing we'll have to work out between ourselves. What goes where Patty and
The class.
Tom will get a set of boxing gloves.
Well, a bunch of things were in the hall then, and those where they used to hang up coats, cause they got moved.
Yes,
We're still
you know,
looking.
I don't know that anybody would be renting that up there, so, you know. It's a community thing, and say if we can accommodate them.
Well, you know, Britta, we've always supported
I know
the
you have.
musical boosters, and it's it's a wonderful thing. And this makes memories for the high school students, that they remember their part in Oklahoma or whatever the Broadway show would be, and it's a wonderful thing.
There's been 43 musicals over
Yeah.
the years. I've been involved since 2011, and every year we ask the school for a space, but we never get any, so.
And meanwhile, they have so much room out there I went to the school board, I won't get into that tonight, but we have all this space, 3 big buildings, and the school can't give you enough room to put your costumes, but you're welcome here, and I think 100%.
It is hard on us too, because we have to
Transport it.
bring everything down and take it to school, then we must bring it back. But we're very grateful that you've left us.
Doesn't the football team have stuff up there also? The one room has
Yeah,
helmets
there's
and.
a closet like it
Yeah.
has, the little kids
Yeah,
football stuff.
yeah, the helmets and all their gear is up there also.
Anything else, Terry?
We have volleyball now and pickleball.
I know, I attend a few pickleball sessions.
Okay, spread the word. It's only $5, it's only donations.
I do have a question also about the gym. Is there any sort of policy that if you book it and don't use it, that you are then not allowed to use it the next time you ask? Or, you know what I'm saying? Okay.
No, and I don't think we've had too much of that, have we, Patty?
There has been times where it'll be booked for like somebody from the teams or something, and then nobody shows up, but I have no way of knowing that, and nobody
Right.
tells me that it's available.
Right.
They
I
may
mean-
not know until that night that they're gonna cancel.
Yeah, if it would be a problem, then I guess we'd have to deal with it, but we hope, the less restrictions, the better, that we have to get involved with. Does that make sense? I think we're ready to go get something to
I
eat.
have one thing.
Oh, go ahead.
Today I had the gentleman come up and look at my scanner because it died for some reason, and he can't get it to, coincide with the Windows 11. So he said that he could get us another one that would work and be $695, but I didn't know it was
How old is the scanner you have?
probably 15 years old.
And he said it wasn't compatible.
Yeah, it's
The
not
update.
compatible.
Windows 11.
Yeah.
You had to, yeah, you know what, I would put it on the list and we can discuss it. I mean, you need it, for crying out loud, you use the scanner a lot. We just, can't make any,
That's why I didn't get the
maybe,
agenda on Facebook this time, because
ma-
do it and it died.
maybe mark it under finance, yeah, if that's okay with everybody.
What was the other thing you wanted, the planning commission and what?
Changes between county EMS and the planning commission.
Since this is a finance committee, I just have a question, I don't wanna hold anybody up, but just thinking about this, our skid loader, we've been having a lot of issues with it. Is there some way we could get the crew to come over and look at that thing, see what's going on with it? The emergency brake, when you're moving, it'll just lock up, and you gotta sit there and play with it and mess with it, play with it.
Which crew?
From over at, Case. We have.
Yeah, I would think, Terry's head of the streets, I would think if it's not working properly, you need that I would say just,
It's an operation.
you have a budget, just have them come over and get it fixed.
Yeah, well, I'll get a quote and see how much it's actually
Yeah.
gonna cost.
And bring it maybe, Tuesday night if you can.
And that, I don't know how old that thing is, I mean, it's probably up there. Every 20 years.
Well, Tom, it's probably been here as long as I've been.
Dan, cut us off, we're done. See everybody Tuesday night.